Helsingissä Finlandia talossa konsertoi tänä iltana yksi maailman tunnetuimmista sopraanoista, yhdysvaltalainen Barbara Hendricks.
Viimeksi hänet nähtiin täällä Suomessa 10 vuotta sitten. Tällä viikolla hän konsertoi myös Tampereella. Toimittajamme Tomi Lindblom tapasi laulajattaren eilisten harjoitusten jälkeen.
We all know you as one of the best opera singers, but you also work as a goodwill ambassador for UN. How did this task start?
Well, I was contacted by a representative of the High Commission for Refugees, and they asked me if I would like to be a goodwill ambassador. And I have always been very interested and active fighting for human rights, and I thought it would be a good way to be more concrete in my action by taking on such a position. And I asked, of course, to be active and to be a free agent. I mean, to be able to say what I thought and to criticize if I thought necessary. And they accepted that. And this relationship has been going on now since 1987. So it's been working. I've sort of defined my own role as a goodwill ambassador. But for me, it really means being an ambassador for the refugees, for their problems and for their solutions, and trying to help. Because different groups of refugees have different problems and therefore different solutions. And it's so touching to also, because 80% of our refugees are women and children, because very often the men are off in battle or have been killed. So I'm very concerned about that segment of the population, particularly the children, because children are all of our future.
You've just visited Sarajevo. What were your feelings to perform there?
It was very difficult to perform there. It was difficult to come in as an outsider and to know that if I was not injured while I was there, that I'd get to go back to a warm home, to food to eat and a normal life. But it was absolutely necessary for me, under those absurd conditions, to try to make music with those musicians. Because for them, their only way of fighting back was to continue to play, was to continue to make music together, even though their numbers were diminishing daily. They lost members of the orchestra and of the choir from sniper fire and bombing, and some were taken as prisoners. But they wanted to continue to make music, and when they asked me to come to do the concert, I felt that it was a way that I could give them some sense of hope and connection to the outside world.
Then to your career, you've said that you seek a strong woman in your roles. Why is that?
Because I always like a little bit of myself in the roles I play.
It's not being a feminist.
Well, I mean, I suppose I am feminist, no? Of course I am. I mean, but not feminist in the sense that I'm against men. I like men a lot. But I am, because of the injustice very often that women undergo everywhere still in the world, in some places worse than others, I am sensitive to it. But also in opera, very often the interpretation of roles, because we have this wonderful, beautiful music to sing, that we sometimes get away without really going in depth into the characters. So I find sometimes that roles have been traditionally played in a one-dimensional way when there's so much more in the characters. So that what I look for really is those other dimensions, not just the beautiful aria with the high notes, but also, I mean, to come on and play Gilda as just a young girl from beginning to end, for me, is not right. There is an incredible transition that takes place in her life, and she grows up, becomes a woman, gives up her life, commits suicide, really. And I think that takes an enormous amount of courage, because she gave up her life for two men who didn't deserve it, neither her father nor the Duke. So, I mean, and it was a conscious decision. So very often, so when I look for the strong woman in the roles, I really look for the truth of the character. I don't try to make a character strong that isn't.